Okay, Dana Green there with the first question, by the way, in that news conference, bringing us up to speed on the plan to renovate the Delta Center instead of building a new arena for the hockey team. We want to welcome in our viewers here to ABC4 News at 6. If you're just joining us, we just wrapped up with that press conference with the NHL Commissioner, Ashley and Ryan Smith and others, talking about the official news now that the Arizona Coyotes are indeed coming to Salt Lake. Wes has been watching right along with us. And can you sum up for me, because you have been covering sports in this town for a long time, what is this moment like for Salt Lake and Utah?
Yeah, this is massive. I mean, I remember when the Jazz came and announced that they were coming in 1979. That was big, but the NBA at that time was going through a bit of a struggle. It wasn't until the next season when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came to the NBA that we saw an uptick, and then Michael Jordan came to the league in 1984, and the league started getting better. So this announcement, the way it's structured and everything about it, and the way Utah sits right now with the Olympics possibly coming, with already an NBA franchise, with a Major League Soccer franchise, trying to get a Major League Baseball franchise, this moment in time is one of the biggest sports announcements that I've ever been a part of. And I've been here a long, long time.
Well, in Utah was teeing up for something like this, but it was also a moment of convenience for the league and for us, because we know the Coyotes have struggled in Arizona. They had friction with Glendale and their former home there. They played in Arizona State University on the campus there. A deal to build a new arena fell through, and they were a homeless team.
Yeah, and Arizona still has a chance to get a team, right? The owner still retains the rights to that area. So hopefully what he's hoping is in 5 years, when they build a new arena down there, that he will be able to get an expansion franchise. He's losing the franchise he has now. That is coming to Utah, but Arizona still is in the mix for an expansion franchise, and he has the rights to that area. So hopefully they can get an arena. I think Phoenix would support an NHL team. It just was not in the cards right now. That franchise was dying on the vine. Something had to be done. And Ryan Smith and Ashley Smith actually stepped in and helped save and bail the NHL out, because what was the NHL going to do with an Arizona franchise that was dying? I mean, they had to do something, and perfect timing. Ryan wanted an expansion team, right? He wanted an expansion team, and then suddenly they go, instead of an expansion team, how would you like to take this team? And again, everything just came together so quickly. To be able to pull this off is just amazing. And I like what Ryan said. He said, we've got good people around us. We imagine things. And I can just picture them in the meetings like, this is not going to work. We can't do this. We can't do this. Let's figure out a way to do it. And apparently they have.
Well, with that in mind, let's take some sound from Ryan Smith earlier in the news conference. Have a listen.
On behalf of the state of Utah, just thank you. Thank you for your trust in us, from both you and all the other governors of the league. For Utah, I hope we carry ourselves with the same kind of strut in our step and the trust in ourselves that they have in us. And I think it's a big bet on us, and I'm so incredibly amazed but not surprised at how we show up. And I think that throughout the whole process, from our state legislature, I've never seen so many Republicans and Democrats and religious leaders and educated leaders all on the same page before. Like, it is incredible. It's emotional. It's emotional to see how much everyone cares about their state. And specifically, adding, 40 plus, 50 with the play, like nights of entertainment downtown. And that's what it looks like. I think we've been here and we've wanted more, and we've said we are more and we can be more, and here we are. And so I think just us showing up, and it's one of those where were you moments today when this happened. I'll never forget that when we got in with the Jazz, Ashley's father called and said in 1979, I was driving down the road and pulled over to the side of the road and started crying when that announcement came. This is another one of those moments where it's like, where were you when NHL came to Utah? And you're all here, which is cool.
So Ashley Smith, right before that, talked about being a steward of the team, right? Because this is not just an expansion team. This is an established franchise coming to Utah now, right? This is a big deal, and it's time for Utah now to put up, right?
Yeah, and this franchise, it's a good young franchise. They haven't made the playoffs in a while, but this franchise, I believe, is going to be successful on the ice within within 2 years, maybe even next year, they've got a great nucleus. They've got a lot of assets. They've got 13 players under contract. They've got room to sign some more. They've got a lot of, they're way under the cap space. They've got some draft picks coming up, and management is good outside of what was going on with the owner. Respect, all respect there, but it's with the coach and the general manager they've got, and this young franchise, this can be a team that can do really, really well on the ice pretty quickly here in Salt Lake. And I like what Ryan said. He said, we're going to get the fans here the first year, and he told the players it's your job to keep the fans coming in the years to come. I believe they can do that. Again, this is a very young franchise. They've got a good core of young athletes, good hockey players. They can add to it with the salary cap room they've got. This could be an up-and-coming franchise.
And, of course, you have to have state buy-in for something like this. We heard from Governor Spencer Cox earlier in that news conference. He was on the phone with Gary Bettman in the league January, February, unaware that this was going to happen. But let's listen to what Governor Cox said just a little bit earlier today.
There were 1,000 ways for this not to happen, 1,000 ways that this could have gone wrong and almost did go wrong. So many people came together to find a way to make this work. But let me just say that none of that matters. It's awesome that Utah comes together, that Democrats and Republicans work together. But none of this happens without Ashley and Ryan Smith, because you have to have people willing to be the leaders, people willing to place the bet, people willing to sacrifice to make this happen, and people that other people talk.
Okay, so there we have Governor Cox there. Again, unaware this was going to happen so quickly. He admitted that he's been to way more Jazz games than he's seen hockey games, but he could be a hockey fan eventually.
Oh, everybody will be a hockey fan.
Everyone's a hockey fan now, I think, in the state government.
Yeah, and hockey's been big here in the state of Utah for a long, long time. 1969, when the Salt Lake Golden Eagles came here, and you think back, there was no Jazz here.
Right.
The Utah Stars were here, but they left, and there was a void. And the only professional team in the state of Utah at that time was the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, playing in the old IHL, the International Hockey League, the Western Hockey League, the Central Hockey League. They were different leagues, but they were the team before the Jazz came. Right? I mean, it was professional hockey, and they used to sell out games all in the Salt Palace all the time. Channel 4, ironically, televised a championship game live. Back in the day, back in 1980, Steve Brown, the former sports director here, doing the play-by-play for hockey. So there's a hockey background here. I think a lot of fans are going to jump on this bandwagon, and NHL hockey is great. I mean, people have gone to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are fun to watch, but there is such a massive step up from minor league hockey to National Hockey League, just the speed, the size, and the ability of these athletes on the ice, it's crazy. You go watch them and you think, the Grizzlies, like, these guys, why aren't they playing? And then you see an NHL game, you're like, I get it now. These guys are really good.
Sure. And, of course, the ramifications for downtown Salt Lake City. We heard from Mayor Erin Mendenhall. Let's listen to what she had to say.
And a lot of number one spots that we take. Salt Lake City can't wait to welcome the world back, and we are going to sign that contract on July 24th for the 2034 Winter Olympics to come back here. And I think all of these things combined are symbolic of the spirit of Salt Lakers.
Okay, so such a big moment for Salt Lake, given the games, given this announcement here with the NHL.
Yeah, this is the high point of sports in the state of Utah right now, right? And I like what they said about reimagining downtown, because everybody, I really believe everybody thought that they were just going to play in the Delta Center for a year or two. You know, they did have to make some. They were told they had to make some adjustments to accommodate hockey, but they would probably build someplace else, whether it was downtown or whether it was at the point of the mountain. So I think today's announcement, what Ryan said when Dana asked that question, is like, we're going to keep both these teams downtown, I think caught a lot of people by surprise. They still have to build a practice facility.
Right.
Right now, there's really no place for this hockey team to practice other than Maverick Center, and they're probably going to have to build a specific practice facility, and where they build that, I don't know. But that's going to be something that they've got to deal with, because the team needs a practice. Utah Jazz have their practice facility down, just off 13th, just west of the freeway. They don't practice at the Delta Center. They practice at the practice facility. That's where the training is. That's where they feed the players. That's where the weight room is. So they'll have a similar thing like that for the hockey team. I don't know where that will be and how soon they'll be able to build that, but that's got to come. So, and maybe that will stay downtown too as they reimagine downtown. And like Ryan said, downtowns aren't doing well right now around the country, but this one, Salt Lake could be.
Right, and Salt Lake County very much a part of this process too. We heard from Mayor Jenny Wilson during that news conference. Here's what she had to say.
This is about advancing entertainment, culture, education, many more. I think about the visitor economy, people who love to come to Utah, to have an additional 40 some odd games, and enliven downtown. Everything that we're going to be rolling out soon to share about changes in downtown that just make it more exciting and really take us to the next level in sport, entertainment.
Okay, so she talked about the visitor economy. You know, every visitor, we're going to go to Dana Green now, who is downtown for us with more on this continuing coverage. Dana.
Hey, I have a special guest with us here. I mean, he's kind of involved in this whole process. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is here. And Gary, you said at the beginning of your remarks that you don't usually get a warm reception like this when you travel to NHL cities. You must be pretty happy with this reception.
We are thrilled to be bringing the NHL to Utah, and the reception has been warm, engaging, friendly, and enthusiastic.
Let me ask you, what impressed you most about Ryan and Ashley Smith's bid, and what has impressed you most about just being in Salt Lake City?
They're incredibly attached to the community. They have great support. They have the commitment, the energy, the creativity, and the resources to really make the seemingly impossible possible, and I'm grateful to them for stepping up and thrilled to be here with them.
In all your years as a commissioner, 26 years, is that right?
31.
31, who's counting, right? Have you ever seen something like this come together this quickly? I mean, we're talking about a matter of months.
Well, actually, we're talking about a matter of weeks.
Wow.
The structure of the transaction and how it came about was unique. Wouldn't have happened without Ashley and Ryan's determination. And I've been in professional sports for more than 43 years, and there's never been a transaction quite like this one.
Arenas are so important with new franchises. The news that came out today that they're going to renovate the Delta Center rather than build a new arena to make it, better for fans and their sight lines and kind of, make it what 17,500 was the maximum. How important is that? Instead of a new arena, you're okay with that?
Well, I'm okay with it because this is an arena with great bones. It's great for basketball. It needs some adjustments for hockey to get from 12,000 unobstructed seats to 17 plus. Although Ryan's made clear his preference is to be part of vitalizing and revitalizing downtown. There are options, other options, but dealing with the governmental leaders, the mayors, the governor, I think they're all focused on making this happen downtown.
And I wanted to ask you about Utah fans. You work for the NBA. You know what Jazz fans are all about. You've seen the support for Real Salt Lake. How much do you think Utah fans are going to gravitate to this NHL franchise?
Well, based on the fact that there are already 22,000 plus deposits, which I never had any doubt, this is a great sports market, particularly winter sports. Our game right now is in what some people are calling a golden era. This is going to be a great marriage.
And it's kind of, you said it's not only like saving the Arizona Coyotes franchise because they had their arena problems, but it's only going to add to the league, right?
Well, it's not about saving because the Coyotes are now inactive and have an opportunity to reactivate. But this was a great opportunity to deal with some issues, short-term and long-term, and to go to a place that we think it's important to be at.
For fans that have never been to an NHL game, and there's many of them here in Utah, unless they went to Denver or LA, what can they expect? What makes the NHL one of the most unique sporting events in the world?
Our athletes are incredible. The speed, the skill, the teamwork, the entertainment values, and we have the best competitive balance in all of sports. And if anybody has any doubt about that, start watching our playoffs tomorrow. All the playoff games are on national television.
ABC, in fact.
ABC, ESPN, a little bit on TNT as well. They're our partners. But at the end of the day, there is nothing like our sport.
That's great. Commissioner Bettman, great to have you in Utah. It's going to be an exciting time. Do you have any preference on the team name? Are you weighing in with Ryan Smith at all?
I think it's early. We've been drinking from a fire hose, and you need a little bit of time to do it right, not the least of which is trademark clearances.
Sure.
So if we have to go generic for a little while, I think that's the best course.
Okay, you heard it from the commissioner himself. Thanks for joining us. We'll let you talk to some other people. So there you have it. Everyone's excited. It's win-win for both Utah and the NHL. Guys, send it back to you.
Dana, fantastic coverage there with the Commissioner Bettman. We appreciate it. Wes, wow. Okay, so we may have a generic name for a while until they get the clearances sorted out.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky. But yeah, I think everybody's excited. Just whatever the name's going to be, I think people are excited about this. I really like what Dana just said. It's a win-win situation. Commissioner Bettman said that this Utah checks all the boxes, and Utah will make the National Hockey League stronger, and that's a big statement. To have a state coming in, you're going to make our situation better, and there's no arena drama, which is what they had to deal with in Arizona.
Yes, they did.
There's none of that now. We know what's going to happen moving forward with the Delta Center, and it's an exciting time.
It is indeed. Thank you for the perspective here. This story is just beginning, folks. Follow us every step of the way as it continues to develop.